It says we're going live, and apparently my ping today was a little, okay, now we're live.
Hi, welcome to the StockinetteZombies. I'm Amy, also known as J Nitma.
And I'm Megan, also known as Just Run It, and this is episode 360. We just were joking about it being a circle and Amy's in a swivel chair.
I am, but I just realized it doesn't go up and down because I feel really tall in the frame compared to you.
You need me to sit like
I need to like slouch.
Yeah. We've got Lynn, Sandy, Claire, Shelley, and Sarah out saying hello, hello, hello. Thank you for joining us live and hanging out while we got things all of the things connected.
Yes. So I guess I wanted to kick things off with, I hope everybody that is attending the Zombie Knitpocalypse got their April news letter. I saw a few people saying that they bought their shirts. So I know at least a few people got them. But if you haven't gotten them, let us know, because that did come out and it has some really fun stuff like volunteering to teach a class and lead a session, I guess is more accurate, because it's anything you want. You don't have to teach a skill. You can host a swap and all that stuff. So we're excited. I was actually the first person to enter. I am going to do a cross stitch thing.
Woo!
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I thought about it and I was like, you know, I have been enjoying cross stitch lately, and I found some like a small thing that we could do. So I'm gonna go ahead and plan a small cross stitch section.
Yeah,
Session.
I've been enjoying you. So you made all of those wool witch cross stitch things, and I walk by and I see it. Not every time, right? Because you know things kind of tend to blend in your decor after it's been there a while, right? But every once in a while I walk by and I'm like, Amy cross stitched that for me.
Yep. So yeah, I found basically a lettering that I really liked, and we're just gonna make a Z and a K.
Woo, that's exciting.
And I should have a variety of stuff. I'm just going to go ahead and cut, you know, some. I'll make little kits, I guess is what I'm saying.
I'm not gonna, no spoilers, because I think that the people that submit their things should have their opportunity to shine. But I know somebody that was excited about leading a session where they were going to be playing a game. So that's
oh
fun.
yeah. So yeah, anything like that. I think one year we even had a Cards Against Humanity one.
Yeah, exactly.
I forget which one. That was kind of in the old location.
Yep.
But that was a rip-roaring good time.
At least laughter, lots of laughter.
Yes.
So yeah, that's exciting. It's again, when we start hitting some of the yarn over and the shepherd's harvest, that's when things be getting real.
You're reminding me I need to call and get a banner for yarn over.
So, yep. So yeah, you're gonna be there, sitting there chatting with folks about ZKN, and I got that updated on the website too, because you asked about it. So all of our previous ZKN speakers are now in on the events page under past events. So that's exciting. And yeah, speaking of ZKN speakers, unless you've got more ZK stuff. Well, you could talk about the April or the May-June challenge.
Yes. So the May-June challenge, we're really excited about this. A thing that a lot of crafters like about the county fair, and the fair is our theme, is submitting their craft projects in to get judged. So
I was like, she's trying to avoid the word judged, but that's really what it is.
Yeah. So I have deemed the KAL the Judge Me. So to enter a sweater, shawl, sock, stuffy, or one of each. You know, enter as many, one per category, but enter all the categories or one of the categories, it doesn't matter. And then I had somebody question recently, what's a sweater? And so I had to look it up, and a sweater is typically long sleeves. in the dictionary definition, but no, any knitted garment that goes on your torso. Like, with sleeves and
It just fits
or
into our
not
very
sleeves. It could be a
theme.
tank top,
Yeah.
but don't count a shawl that wraps around your torso. I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And then shawl. And stuffy. I had another question. Can a pillow be considered a stuffy? I don't know why I'm air quoting a lot today. I'm going to sit on my hands. But yes, a pillow does count as a stuffy. You put stuffing in it, it's a stuffy.
Do
Doesn't
whips
necessarily
count
have
if
to
they
have
were
it.
started after January 1st?
Oh, now this is something that somebody questioned me on. I would like them to start May 1st.
Okay.
So
And ponchos or sweaters?
so many questions.
They're garments.
I'm going to put ponchos in shawls.
Oh, okay.
So, if you're knitting a poncho, it's a closed shawl. That's my ruling.
Okay. Shawl
If you
slash
wanted
poncho.
to knit a
But again,
poncho
we're all
and a
about
shawl, I'm sorry.
yeah, we're all about the alliteration, right? But I mean, there's a category for that, right? So it's not like you're like, oh, too bad, you can't fit in. So we got a category for that. So
yes. So and again, that was just trying to limit the number of categories. We could have went on and on and on, but we stuck with the S's because it just seemed more fun. You can get a sweater, a shawl, socks, or stuffy. So yeah, and that's all I had. But yeah, I plan to start them May 1st. I want them to be intentional, I guess. I am knitting this to be judged.
Excellent. And more details to come about the judging. Yes.
Enter them per usual on with links to pictures and whatnot. And there will be an online judging as well as an in-person judging. So plan to bring your object to the retreat.
Interessante. Excellent. All right. Well, as far as DKN news, we are watching Julie and Julia, Jules Love on Friday. So that's exciting. And then upcoming late breaking news did not make the email last night. May 14th, we are talking with Karen and Alice about knit strips. So mark that on your calendar. Super excited. I dove into the book. It is amazing. And the concept of IK, the interactive knitting, is fabulous. And they've done a really great job with this kind of being like a nacho or typical, knitting book layout and content, right? So they kind of break down, well, I won't get into it, but they break down like some of the layout, right? Because again, it's different than you would previously. Oh, Amy had to go jump and get something that you would have previously have seen, which again makes it a great concept and super fun to jump into. So
it looked like my door was slightly ajar, and I got panicked that somebody might walk in.
Pivot sneaks in, coworkers. Can't leave those doors
in front of me. Yeah. It wasn't, but it freaked me out for a slight second.
So Amy's going to be podcasting from work. I think you mentioned that last week. And I learned this week the fun phrase, instead of working from home, I'm living at work. Which is pretty representative of, you call it your day job, and now it's like every waking hour job. So I gotta rebalance, but it's my day job is taking over my life. So good times. Yeah. Deep breath. Let's talk about something that doesn't stress Megan out. Works in progress.
Okay.
I bet you've got quite a few.
Yes, I do, as always. I will start with the fun one that I started recently, and then I kind of hit pause on. Got Christopher Bunny.
Pause on.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, he was getting a lot of really good progress until we hit Easter, and then I lost like my knitter rabbit mojo.
He's so
But
cute.
he's only got his little legs to go and then stitching on his nose. But then this pattern comes with an outfit. So I'm kind of excited to knit his little Fair Isle sweater and his striped pants that go with them. So, so that's one of my whips.
The ears are so good, Sandy said.
Yeah, that's Susan B. Anderson's Christopher Bunny pattern. And then I'm knitting it out of Northern Bee Studios. What's the base?
Moraine.
Yeah. So the worsted weight of their specific blend. So it's more of a, but yeah, that it is going to have a blue, mostly blue sweater. So, yep, there's Christopher.
Super cute.
And Christopher's in a Black Magic Pearl bag.
Ooh.
Love the zipper is so colorful.
Yeah.
It's just fun to look at. And then
I like that translucent, he can kind of peek out too.
Yeah, I can see him. Yeah. But there's too much glare. And then I did start another stripe project. So these are Show Me Yarns, right? Show Me Yarns had made a ZK or zombie colorway, and I bought it at, I believe, at our retreat. And so it's got greens and pinks of various shades. So really like that, how it's knitting up, but that's just kind of on the go.
Those are my colors.
Yeah. And then during the shop hop, I picked up a crochet pattern from Bee Lakeside, and I've been working on it, but it's very fiddly. It's kind of a lace with these groupings, and I'm in the middle of trying to understand how each row connects in the greater scheme, because as a free pattern that came from a shop hop, it's only got like minimal instruction and minimal pictures because they need it to be a handout. So like I would think that this pattern would normally be, 4 or 5 pages with lots of pictures, and it's really just one side that tells you the materials and has a nice photo, and then the pattern on the back. And yeah, it's been kind of a struggle for me. I'm on the struggle bus with this, but it's also a challenge, right? So the gauntlet's been thrown. I have to figure out how to work this. So it's a cowl that gets attached or grafted together at the end. So it's more or less a scarf at this point. And this is, I think this is only like 3 out of the 5. So coming back, the last 2, I think, are the ones that are confusing me. Like, did I make a mistake in the earlier rounds and that's why this isn't lining up? Like, but again, challenge accepted. I might do an Amy Deachin and be like, as soon as I figure it out, just be like, nope, and not work on it anymore, because it is really fiddly. And since I'm not a crocheter and it's fiddly, I might just scrap the project altogether and start a crocheted cowl that's more basic, more my speed. But I love the finished object. I tried it on, but it is very fiddly.
It's really pretty. I love what the crochet or the different aspects are doing with the different colors.
Yeah, it's got these lovely pops of colors. This is 3 Irish Girls. I think this is pre-transition. Like, I think this is several owners ago. 3 Irish Girls.
So you got the pattern, but you pulled deep stash.
Yes, very deep stash. Yeah, there was a pattern that goes with this. I didn't want to experiment using that yarn, especially after I ripped this out. I think I've ripped it out a total of 7 times.
Okay.
So I've gotten pretty far, because the full width of the pattern is like this. And I started out that way and I ripped it back and recast on and ripped it back and recast on. And then I was like, this is stupid. And so the pattern is multiple, right? I keep using the air quotes.
I think multiple could be used without air quotes.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a multiple of 8 plus some, right? So I could shrink it and still have it work. So I shrunk it quite a bit for playing. Anyway, so that pattern is not going so well.
That's fun that you're doing something that challenges you, and that you've kind of got to, again, so I don't know. I've definitely been in the mindset that I need something that it's all there for me, right? Like my battery at the end of the day is already so low. I can't imagine doing some experimental, like trying to figure out and redigest somebody's instructions, but good for you. That's great.
Yeah. Again, like I probably have spent a lot of hours on it that I could have been finishing out my final 2 projects for the frenemy. I only have this much of the tea, but honestly, I'm on the knit until you get to a certain point, and then I believe that the front and back are going to be very similar. So, and with it being DK, I think it's going really fast. So I think that this, if I spent a goodly amount of time on it this weekend, could be finished by the end of the month. But I also have a very mindless project. Oh, this is the Queen City yarns. They're silk and linen. It is lovely to work with.
Oh, pretty. I love that color.
Yeah, this much of the first ball. And then I have 2 more. I am a little worried about length with what I have left. So I'm going to work all of this ball first and not do the alternating because I really want to know how much length I get with it before and if it ends up being different colors, I might have to rip back a little bit to try to do some offsets there. But it might end up being that the part that works the lower half ends up being the lower half on the back side too, or the front side. I can't remember which one I'm working on, but anyway. And then last but not least is the giant shawl of or sweater shrug of Doom. So, and it's only of Doom because I'm at like the bazillion stitches point where you're just like, this one row is taking forever.
And a row is an investment in time. Yeah.
Yes. Serious investment in time. So we got this is the progression. This is the Queen City Yarns advent calendar. And we're coming through here. But I have removed the sleeves as they were in the shawl. And then there's only 8 repeats below this before you start doing the long bind off. And so I'm looking right now. Where's my marker? And I have done, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, and I'm getting close to going to the 5th. So yeah. So like, and it is a lot because the brioche, and I believe there's 4 brioche rows per repeat, and we're on it's 500 plus stitches. So it's going to take a lot to finish. But I am at the point that it's memorizable, brainless knitting. So nice and mindless. So hopefully it will get to that end point. I know that there's a small amount of sleeves that will have to go on here, but I think once I pick those up, that'll be one evening's worth of work, both sleeves be done. Because it's brioche for about this long, maybe 3 to 4 inches. I can do that. but
Excellent.
getting there is
It
getting
looks
to the
so
point where it's-
smushy. It looks so
Oh
smushy.
yes. Yeah, I could use it as a blankie. Take a nap here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is very smushy. It is also, as I feared, snaggable.
Mm.
So if I'm working on it with the cat and she comes and sits down, she might pull a loop on her way off my lap.
Mhm.
So that's unfortunate, but I think that that's kind of how it was designed. I mean, these are the bigger, they wanted it to be airy and light and you know, also to give you that volume with less yarn, you know, so you didn't have to have as many skeins to complete it. But yeah, so that is all that is fit to be shown.
Excellent. Well, I would be remiss. I know it's not a finished object episode, but you did rock it through your rocket tee and are wearing it.
I am.
So pretty.
Yes.
So pretty.
It's yeah, it is very fascinating. Highly recommend. So far it's very blousy, but I did that on purpose. I wanted it to have a lot of positive ease. You know, I'm still rocking my COVID 20 to 30 pounds. So
it looks great on you.
I said I'm rocking it. I said I'm rocking it. I am not disparaging.
Yeah. So I have quite a few works in progress that have, like I said, my evenings ebb and flow as far as my battery being able to take them on, but they are design projects. And then kind of my mindless knitting that has, as of late, when my battery has been very low, has gotten a lot of work is my Mist by Leslie and Suzanne Robinson. And yeah, so I'm to the top part. Wow, again, it looks so different in the high contrast mode on the screen versus like in real life, these are very subtle. Like you don't see the stripes as much. I feel like maybe I'm just too close to it. But I did extend. So you start out with basically just some, and you can see the other side of the brioche there. They're two colors that are like, there are component pieces of this color in this color, so they're not meant to be really high contrast. And I added a great deal, like I think without stretching it, I'm at like 12 inches or 14 inches underarm, and she had it written for 8. So I'm hoping it doesn't grow a ton, right? Again, things that wet blocking things probably could have answered for me. But as far as leveling up this project, I did have it on my my signatures that I just recently got a new cord for because it broke. And apparently the cord size that I have is not conducive to the circumference that I'm generally knitting things in the round on, because it broke again, which was kind of like a freak out moment. It also happened to be when I had turned it inside out and seen that I had not caught the main color on the backside correctly. So I had like dropped down like 30 to 40 rows to try to fix it, which was again my, like I was being particular, but it was in the midst of a drop down that the cord also broke. And I was like, okay, not only am I transferring it onto a different set of needles, I'm also trying to fix these stitches. So I feel like maybe I leveled up my like brioche troubleshooting at that moment, right? Like you just have free floating, like trying to pair up the strands with the one that was supposed to be, you know, the slip-on yarn over with. So didn't want it to be mentally taxing, but it ended up being so. And I'm just about to where you end up doing some short rows up at the shoulders for some shoulders shaping in a very kind of deep armhole there. But super loving these colors. This is the so hopefully I don't have two skeins that are very, very different, but I'm still rocking the initial skeins here, which I think the project had me using almost 2 full ones, which is not possible now because there's only just a little brioche, I think, sleeve that gets added. And I'm not showing it at its true width here. It's looking skinny on the screen, but it is very wide. So you get some sleeve out of the body width as well. Kind of similar probably
You're saying I might be able to use some, this was a fingering weight pattern.
Mm-hmm.
So I might be able to use a couple skeins of some soliloquy or diva and really.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. Yeah, this is the Northern Bee Better Together colorway. And then this was Hedgehog Fibers from Jenna's truck in damp.
Mm.
So they're not like Woolmey's beefy skeins, right? And I did quite a bit underarm. Like I'm not joking. Like I wasn't like measuring it like this, right? I'm like just kind of letting the brioche hang out. And yeah, I mean, especially since you do often do crops a little bit more than I do. I've got a longer torso.
Yeah,
so,
and I only do the cropped when I have them plans for them to go with dresses, right? So I might see how yours looks in final photos and see.
yeah. Again, I thought I was doing low contrast, and Beth is doing hers in soliloquy in high contrast, like a bright pink and a darker color. It's not black, I don't think. I don't think it's Don't Fear the Reaper, but super right. So her sample is very in the book is very low contrast. So yeah. And again, I think you could probably, I haven't seen, obviously I need to add the shoulder bits, but because this is garter, I do feel like you could wear it inside out. Again, maybe not the garter is definitely a lot more distinct here and more blended on the wrong side, right? But I feel like you could wear it inside out. I guess I need to see how the sleeve pickup and the shoulders change it. So I'm a big fan of two looks with one garment. So
yeah, I was, as you were showing that, I was just thinking about yarns I could use.
Yeah, no, it's a great, and again, this part was very just, I mean, it was just brioche, right? So you kind of get into this like meditative, like after you get past like casting on tons and tons of stitches, working it in the round was just very meditative. Oh, and now I need to change colors, and you're just kind of going, right? It's not Stockinette Zombie, it's like brioche zombie.
Right.
So but yeah, that's it as far as what I can show. I feel like my Rockefeller Center, I could probably pick it up and show it to folks. It's about a block away. I had done, it was going to be a little too wide in the shoulder, so I did some short rows there, and I really want to, I haven't woven it ends because I want to get it wet and make sure that it fits through the shoulders like I want it to before I really commit to it being done. So, but yeah, it turned out really great as well. I'm really enjoying the variegated in and kind of mixing them, right? So like looking at your top and the Rockefeller Center and the variegated is very striking, as is kind of mixing it in with a solid. So finding places to use those variegateds that are so alluring in the skein, and then sometimes you're like, oh, but this design, can it handle it? Finding opportunities to pair variegateds with the pattern is fun.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, and I can see how that would be appealing. Yeah. I'm thinking about trying to level up the crochet, right? So I'll see if after this project, again, I still might Amy Deachin it, and if people don't know about Amy Deachin, she knits to learn. And sometimes she doesn't finish a project after she's learned the skill. So she knit an entire sweater to figure out how the lady did the inset sleeves. And then as soon as she mastered that, she stopped working on it. So it's got like a partial on the inset of one sleeve and an entire garment. And the funny thing is, it was beautiful Fair Isle. It was so intricate. And she did all that work just to learn this sleeve, and then she stopped knitting it. And it's funny because it's also in her size, right? She knit it to fit her. She didn't just knit a child or the smallest size to figure that out. Yeah, it surprises me. But
yeah, her presentation was, I don't knit sleeves, right?
Right.
Yeah. And there was a lot of like, oh, isn't it beautiful? Isn't it amazing? And then she just like tossed it aside.
Yes. And so, yeah, that's me, mimicking me tossing that crochet, I'll just break the yarn and it'll become a pair of shorty socks, and that crochet will never live again. I don't know.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, sometimes when I think of myself as like a process knitter, I think about doing something like that. And it's like, nope, I definitely would want it. Like the utility of it is what gets me to the finish line, right? While I do enjoy the process, the actually being able to use it at the end is what gets me to finish her up. So
yeah, I don't know. It's just fiddly enough, and it's a scarf that you have to have a certain amount of length to get this infinity scarf, and like, oh, it's just fiddly enough that it's the kind where you have to you really have to pay attention to where because you have to go into single crochets a lot. So you can't just go into where knitting below or crocheting into below the last row. You have to go into that stitch, and so that's very fiddly to me. You very consciously have to see that you're picking up the right loops and pulling through. And there's so much of it because it's a lace. There's so much of it that's like that.
Yeah, well, good to know that lace is fiddly both in knitting and in crochet, right? Like there's
I would much rather do knitted lace.
Yeah.
Again, maybe I'll change my mind. Maybe.
Why would you put holes in your knitting?
I don't know.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us today as we talk about our many or few works in progress. And looking forward to, again, seeing everybody on Friday if you're able to join, and our upcoming in-person event and May 14th book event. So,
okay. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of messages. Using my phone for this is not good. Reading messages as they come across. Why is everybody trying to contact me over noon? Why? Sorry. Bye.
Bye, Yuvta. All right, it is ended.